In the first 7 years of your marriage, you just find out that your wife is not caring anymore, you are not enjoying your wife anymore, you don't have intimate moment together anymore. Probably she's also disrespectful, or probably you tend to see that she really want to do, but there are other stuffs in the family she prioritize over all this you are talking about. My dear brother, you need to watch carefully. You might be the cause of this problem unknowingly. Since she is a great woman while you were dating, and she might still be that great woman, but you are not enjoying her today, probably because you have created or placed some contradictory priorities before her, and you really need to understand those priorities, because when you place it, you might not be able to reverse it. And you have to remember this law: no woman will be loyal to two masters without really jeopardizing one of them. I want you to think about that. Now, how exactly can you be the cause of this problem? When you marry a lady, almost immediately after marriage, she is on the verge of taking care of the house, cooking and cleaning, and most especially making baby and nurturing the baby for you, which, if we have to be sincere, it is a lot tasking. Without being biased, definitely she might be doing all this and at the same time doing a small business or probably working in her office. My dear brother, you need to know that this is going to consume this woman so much, and you really need to know how to navigate your ways, placing priorities before her. And also, if she is especially doing the office job, you know that majority of the boss in the office bring extra work hour or extra assignment after midday of the work. You can check it. And you as husband, you also need your wife after the working hours. Let's think about the timing. It's a lot tasking on these women. Like all this is not enough. As a financially stable man, you want to show more love to your wife, and you might aggressively upgrade her business maybe from 500k to 5 million to 10 million. My dear brother, that is dangerous to your family. And at the moment you do that, you see that almost immediately as the business flies, you don't enjoy your wife again, because too much are in her hand to handle now. Taking care of the house, cooking and cleaning, nurturing the baby, probably getting pregnant to make other babies, struggling with the business, supplies and deliveries. I want you to think about this. And afterwards, no chances of having your wife around you, no intimate moments together. She probably don't close early to come back home, and most of the time your food are made by the house help, your children are raised by the housemaid. That is the value you've got, and the value you see in your wife will not be there to be passed on to your children. Think about this terrible situation you are going to be thinking about, but you wouldn't know that the aggressive upgrade you do in your wife business is a whole lot of problem, most especially when you are newly wedded. Within the 5 to 10 years of marriage, it is always pathetic. And despite the fact that you have set up a big business for your wife, you need to pay housemaid, you probably need to get cleaner and a whole lot. Sometimes you need to get extra chef, and yet all the money she is making from that business most of the time is not beneficial to the family. I want you to think about it, and all these thoughts will be going on in your mind, creating a kind of bitterness in you, which might actually make you sometimes thinking of probably ending everything. But nevertheless, there are other stuffs you really need to think about. How do you now solve this problem? At first, you really need to accept that you have failed as a leader, not to really consider the cooking, the cleaning and everything, to have aggressively upgrade your wife business from probably 500k to like 5 million to 10 million. Definitely she wouldn't want to lose, and you know women always prioritize anywhere there is money. She doesn't want to lose in the business, she doesn't want to be called name. Definitely she is going to give more time to the business. You might be complaining that she should come back home by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, but your wife is likely not to come back home until about 10 o'clock, because most of the time the people that are going to patronize her business probably come later hours of the day. My dear brother, you need to think deeply about all these complications. And you also need to understand that most men get used to clubbing because majority of the time their wife are always not available. And sometimes their wife has traveled abroad, and you know what that means. This man has to start a life like a bachelor once again. And quite pathetic to convert naira to dollar. You know what that means. And number two, you really need to understand that you might have actually moved that woman from one platform to the other in which she cannot manage. If you marry a woman from a one bedroom apartment and you bring her into 3 bedroom apartment, or probably you bring her into duplex, my dear brother, there are high chances your house is not going to be clean because she is not used to cleaning such a big house or maintaining such a big house. That will require you getting a whole lot of other helps to get your house fixed. In the nutshell, all I'm telling you in all this story is that you really need to carefully map out all the strategies, all the plans and everything in your family, because you are the man. If everything destroy, it is your own family that get destroyed. I want you to think about it. You stand the higher chances of losing a whole lot more. My dear brother, think deeply about this. Meanwhile, some women might really get this wrong by thinking, I don't want men to upgrade their wife to support their wife. That is not true. But it is always better when your marriage is like over 10 years, when your children have grown up and your wife actually raised your children properly for you. Then she can go and do big business. She can do a whole lot more. But when she is younger, she is still making baby, doing big business, or dealing with offices, or doing what kind of business that will consume much of her time. My dear brother, you have to forgo one for one, because the reality is that women cannot serve two masters without jeopardizing one. And most of the time, you that create the business is most likely to be the one to suffer the intimacy and caring moment you deserve from your wife. I want you to think deeply about this, brothers, because when you fail to plan right, you are actually going to be the loser at the end, and you will be out there complaining about all you have done to this woman. Complain cannot fix it. Think deeply about this. Peace out.